you only have a 50% Monte Carlo, does that mean you can't retire? No, it does not. Now, I want to be clear. I am not the guy that says everyone should just retire. I'm not saying that. I am saying as many, it's like, it seems like it gets overlooked, at least on my channel. People are like, why are you telling everybody to retire? I'm not telling everybody to retire. I'm saying if you can retire, you should. Especially if your job is putting you in the grave. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of these jobs are literally putting people in the grave. They're getting fat. They're getting stressed. They're having bad relationships. You see what I'm saying? It's not good, man. And their blood pressure's going higher. They're just not healthy. They're eating like crap. So and secondly, I was talking to these people the other day, and they want to help dogs, stray dogs. They want, kind of like my man Dave and what the hell's his name? Fritz Gilbert. Why did I say Dave? Fritz Gilbert and Jackie, his wife Jackie, up there in Blue Ridge, Georgia. They do rescue missions. They really, literally rescue dogs. And so for me, for these people I was talking to the other day, like they're not miserable at their job. They feel like they have a calling to do something differently with their life, and the calling is to rescue dogs. And what I told them is not only are you helping out dogs, but you're helping out families by rescuing dogs. Because we got 2 rescues, and my 2 dogs made my life better off, 100%, unequivocally, and all my kids. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, some people on YouTube didn't make their lives better off because they don't like my dogs. Don't care. You say anything negative about my pups, you're banned. I literally mean that. You say anything negative about the Pablo and Finnegan, you're out of here. Don't want any guy like that because that's just being a big fat loser. Anyway, so they have a higher calling. And the dude likes his job. He's comfortable, he's content. But he's like, I'm not sure I want to do this for another 10 years because I want to be a dog guy. Again, that's what, why do I keep calling him Dave? Fritz up there in Blue Ridge, Georgia wants to do. It has done. In fact, we got Finny from Fritz and Jackie. They didn't rescue Finnegan, whose name was Sawyer back then, but they showed us the place that had rescued Finnegan. I gotta get Fritz back on, man. We keep texting each other and just not making the time work, so I gotta get that back. Anyway, so what my point is that you might have a higher calling even if you're not stressed at work, and the higher calling might be to do something else. I interviewed a lady a couple years ago who does charitable stuff in Haiti. And that's her calling. She said, "Look, I'm called to go down here to Haiti to help with the endeavors down there, and now it's needed more than ever." And she's a white girl from, I want to say Mississippi or something like that. I can't remember, but a white lady, and so she sticks out like a sore thumb in Haiti, but she knows that's what she feels that God is calling her to do. So if you have a 50% Monte Carlo, a lot of people say, "Oh no, that means you're gonna fail." It doesn't, man. It doesn't. Like, I'm not saying it's great, but what's the alternative? 100% Monte Carlo? I mean, that first of all, 100% there's nothing guaranteed. We don't know. But 100% Monte Carlo simply means every scenario we ran, given the expected rate of return, the standard deviation, every scenario we ran, not one time did you run out of money. All right, that's what 100% Monte Carlo says. A 50% Monte Carlo says every scenario we ran 10,000 scenarios. 5,000 times you still had money left when you died. 5,000 times you didn't have money left when you died without making any adjustments. All right. So if you're running a Monte Carlo and you're 50% of the time you still have money left, that doesn't mean it's a failure of a Monte Carlo. It just says half the time I still had money is if I made no adjustments. All right. So I'm going to interview my man Derek Tharp, who's a PhD assistant professor of finance, who talks about his guardrail strategy, the Guyton-Klinger guardrail strategy. Derek has and that was from 2004, the Journal for Financial Planning, and Derek has kind of elaborated on that to make it a little bit more. What's this guy doing? I guess some concrete being poured. Oh boy. Derek has elaborated on it to make it a little bit more user-friendly, if you will. And the Guyton-Klinger one was fantastic. It's the beginning of the guardrail strategy kind of thought process, which is pretty interesting. It just simply says if you don't want to run out of money, you just got to adjust your spending. Now, what Derek says is that sounds easier in theory than it does in reality, because adjusting spending means you're taking a significant decline in your spending. But anyway, so what Derek comes up with is, and we'll go into it, actually, I don't want to give it away here, but what Derek came up with is something pretty actually interesting to me relative to using Monte Carlos. Instead of using a guardrail for investments, he's using a guardrail for Monte Carlos. If your Monte Carlo drops below a certain level, you put a guardrail on there until your Monte Carlo goes back up. It's pretty interesting, actually. So anyway, so Derek, we're going to talk about that, and there'll be a Q&A too, because Derek is crushing. He writes for a Kitsis Nerd's Eye View a lot, and he's a good guy, young guy from the University of Southern Maine, whose most famous alum was who? Who is the most famous alumni from the University of Southern Maine? That's right, Susan Scanlon, my mom. She went to night school, got her degree in accounting, and it was just crushed ever since. Yes, a fact. And you can see by the fruit of her loins, me, your old buddy Josh, crushing. Anyway, I'm headed to Costco because my wife says she wants to go more of a carnivore diet to lose some weight. Of course, my wife looks fantastic, but she doesn't think she does. So we got to get in here and get some meat to make her lose some weight, she thinks. Of course, my wife is better looking than your wife, and that's just a fact, Jack. Everybody knows that to be true. Everybody knows my wife is prettier than your wife. So just, you can argue with me all day long. You'll be proven wrong, all right? Survey says, whose wife is prettier, Josh's or else these guys on YouTube? Survey says, Josh. Remember Richard Dawson? Anyway, what the hell is that show called? Family Feud. Remember you skipped school and watched Family Feud? Yeah, I used to do that. I skipped many a class of school, which is why I had to go into the military. Yeah. Anyway, what the hell is that talking about? All right, so a 50% Monte Carlo. It just means half the time you, quote, ran out of money, and the other half the time you didn't. Is that a failing proposition? No, because what would be a solution? To adjust on the fly. To adjust on the fly, i.e., I don't want to run out of money. My Monte Carlo is low enough. I better freaking reduce my spending until my Monte Carlo gets back higher. Yeah, all right. God bless. Love to hear your thoughts. We'll be going live tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and let me know if you got some stuff you want to talk about. All right, God bless.